All right, welcome back. I've been gone for a while. Been busy doing a lot of work, overtime. Got the new boat. Been breaking the boat in, doing a little bit of fishing. I'm slowly going to get back into tying jigs. Don't know if I'll go back into selling them like I used to. We're going to start going back to doing YouTube videos, and we are going to start with just normal, easy ties. If you've got any fly tying material, jig tying material, you're going to be able to use it on the jigs I'm doing. I'm going to try to keep prices down, make it to where it's easier to find the materials that you need, the thread that you need, the materials you need. Maybe try to veer a little way more away from hackle feathers, things like that. Go a little more toward marabou. Maybe some stuff you can pick up at like Hobby Lobby and things like that, just to kind of help keep your prices down a little bit and make some things a little bit easier to find. But we're going to start out with a 1/8 ounce pill head and vise, number 4 sickle hook. And I get a lot of questions on why I use the number 4 sickle hook. The number 4 hook in general uses less material. Fills the jig up a little faster, makes it look a little more it just fills the hook up better. Being a little smaller profile when that crappie hits it, and if you know how fish eat, they open their mouth and they suck in a big gush of water and pull it in. Pretty good chance they're going to pull that whole jig in their mouth, and that sickle hook's going to help hook up. I like the sickle hook versus a normal J hook. It just seems like I have a lot more luck with my hookup ratios using the number 4 sickle hook. That's the biggest reason I use that. Number 1 is it fills up better. Number 2, it seems like I get a better hookup ratio with the sickle hook. That's my opinion. A lot of other people argue that it's not strong. The bends in it make it weak. I myself have never had a sickle hook break. I've heard people say they have. Like I said, it's my opinion. I'd much rather have a sickle hook than a J hook. But we are going to start out with a little light coating of Sally Henson's hard as nails on the shank of the hook. I see a lot of people do this step. A lot of people skip this step. It's just the way I learned to tie. It's just, one of those things. It's the way I started, and it's the way I'm going to tie. We're using the loon bobbin. I like this bobbin a lot. I like the grip on it. I like the way it holds in your hand good. But we're going to start right behind the head. A couple wraps. We're going to pull that thread up, help angle it down. We're going to go right to the point of the hook, and then we're going to go back up. And we're going to trim off our tag end right here. Let's talk about scissors. Also, you can go to fly shops. You can get specialty scissors. Cost anywhere from $20 to $100. Myself, I go to Dollar General. I get a pair that fits my fingers, that are comfortable in my hands. They're a little bit long. I don't have any problems with them. Sometimes I will use these. You can get these from Walmart. Some of them are straight. Some of them have a small bend. Help get underneath there and do that. They dull really quick. I might get maybe 100, 200 jigs out of a pair before they dull. They're like $4 a piece. Kind of disposable. I just don't want to get rid of them. Go down to Dollar General, pick these up for like $3 a pair. Do just fine. We're going to be putting marabou in this jig. I got some marabou feathers laid out, and I'm going to show you what I use. All these tips that are nice and straight, that's what I'm going to use in my marabou jigs. I'm going to pick out one strand. I'm going to straighten that strand out, and I'm going to fill it in my fingers. Figure out about how much I want to tail of that jig. By the time I wrap that up, I'm going to have about that much sticking out. So right there about where my fingers are at is where I'm going to cut that marabou at. A lot of people wet it down, get it wet between their fingers. I don't. I give it a little twist right there at the end, and I just cut that off. Then what I'm going to do next to my marabou, I'm going to pick out all the little fluffies right there at the end. I'm going to pinch it in between my fingers, and I'm going to push it down around the shank of that hook until I see it go all the way around. Then I'm gonna get a loop on it right there at the end, a couple loops to know for sure I've got it secure. Then I'm gonna pull it tight and I'm gonna start wrapping it all the way down. Right to the tip of the hook. I'm gonna come back up, get all those loose ends. I'm gonna put one more wrap all the way down that. Just to make sure it's all nice and secure, it's all tied in tight. We'll come back up here to the head and we're gonna stop right there. And now we're gonna add a little bit of Chanel in it, or not Chanel, but we're gonna add a little bit of flash in it. Flash is another one of those things. You can get flash in a lot of different places. All the flash I get from Amazon. It's cheap. I have had no issues with what flash I've gotten from Amazon. You know, get the flash where you can find it. If you can find it at Hobby Lobby cheap, it's going to hold up underwater, by all means, get it. I've got a root beer colored flash. So it's going to go in this jig, and I'm going to pull off probably, I don't know, 6, 7 strands, something like that. If you've watched my videos before in the past, you know that I flash my jigs up. The ones I use for myself, I make them pretty flashy. And I'm going to add all this flash right to the very bottom of that jig. So some loose wraps there at the beginning. I'm going to pull it straight down the back of that shank of that hook. I'm going to wrap it just as far down as I did my marabou. I'm going to come all the way back up. Go right there to the head. And then I'm going to take whatever flash that is a little bit longer than the tail. I'm going to cut those off. Now you can see it. It's all right there in the bottom of the at the bottom of the marabou feathers. And that's kind of where I want it at. Some of them are still just a little bit long. And if you want them longer than your feathers, leave them longer than your feathers. I don't like my flash to stick out past my feathers. I always want to kind of tuck back inside. Some of those right now in me are still just a little bit too long, but we're going to leave them. I ain't going to make a big deal over it. We are going to be using Pearl Chanel medium root beer. That's the color of it. This came from Plateau Flash Shop. Chanel's another one. It's, you know, if you think you can find it somewhere else and use it, you know, by all means do it. But Chanel's one of those ones that I don't really trust to get off Amazon. You're better off to get on eBay, called Plateau Fly Shop. See if they can hook you up with something. Find it in online catalogs. Medium and smalls are what I use the majority of the time. And you'll run into some companies that won't classify it as small, medium, and large. You'll get number 1s, number 2s, 3s, 4s, stuff like that. I always stick with 2s when it comes to being only in like a number size. So kind of trial and error before you find what you like and what you want to tie with in your style. But when I get it to here, got my Chanel on, I'm going to turn it back up here to where I got the smooth sides without any Chanel on yet. I'm going to put just a little bit more Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails right there, just kind of as a kind of a little bit of an insurance that it won't come untied on me, come unwrapped. I'm going to pull my bobbin down a little bit out of the way. I'm going to grab hold of that Chanel. And I'm going to start turning my vise. I'm going to get here in the middle and I'm going to kind of double it over top itself just to make the body a little bit fuller. Then I'm going to start tapering it back down and start going back up to the head of the jig. I'm going to make one more turn right there at the head and I'm going to pull that Chanel down around my bobbin. Then I'm going to pull the bobbin over top the Chanel. Then I'm going to start tying my neck in. And I went with a white ultra thread. Probably maybe should have used brown. So I think the white's going to kind of contrast a little bit. with the Chanel, but it's gonna work. Crappie ain't gonna care for a little off color from that. Gonna do quite a few wraps here around the neck. Make sure we got a good knot tied in it. We'll go back up in here with our scissors. We're gonna cut our Chanel off, being careful not to cut that thread. And we're gonna do whip finish. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna pop it out. I'm gonna do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop it out, pull it tight. Reach up in there and I'm gonna cut the rest of that thread off. Boom. And that's it. Pretty simple tie, pretty easy tie. These 1/8 ounce jig head, pill heads, I got those for Lemons Tackle. Call Steve at Lemons Tackle and tell him you're looking for them. Tell him I sent you. Jason Brummel, I think, has some also. That's about it. That is it for that jig. I'm going to take just a little bit of UV resin and put it right there at the bottom of the neck. Don't take a whole lot with that UV resin to help seal that neck in. Those threads will suck up quite a bit of that resin pretty quick. I'm gonna hit it real fast with UV light. And then for a little safe measure, we're probably just gonna set them out in the sun on a rack, let them dry a little bit. That is it. That is all there is to that jig. Questions, comments, let me know. Kind of give me heads up on what you want to see. Let me know what you think about the jigs. Any help you need, send me a message, let me know. I will help get you started. That's all I got for today, guys.